Oh, welcome back into the 14A Sports Radio Show. The 14A Sports Radio Show is brought to you by the Big Apple Sports Pals with wall-to-wall TVs. You'll never miss a beat of the action. Call them up tonight and get some of the town's greatest food delivered to your door. 201-858-1075. All right, guys, it is time for the Week 11 NFL Pick'em Chug segment. Had a little... Richie K, doing major work again.
Doing the Lord's work.
He, I believe he's 27-11-1, or maybe 27-11. That probably sounds a little better.
27-11-2.
And 2. All right. Really.
But over the past 4 or 5 weeks, he's just been killing it.
Yeah, really separating himself from the pack those last couple of weeks. Now we have a little combumbleness right there. And,
Combumbleness.
2, 3, 4. Hey, I made up for it with dendrophiliac before, so don't worry about it.
Continue to be silly.
He doesn't know vocabulary, but he knows weird
All right,
sex
so
terms.
Mully had a 4-0 week. All
right.
Very Richie-like. So he doesn't have to chug any beers, but if he'd like to, he can.
I might get involved.
All right.
I might sip gracefully and graciously.
Can I
over
see
to your left.
Munchin?
Are you going to go munching?
Yeah, now last week I went 3-1. Nips, how'd you do last week?
1-3.
1-3.
I'm on fire
But
in the
you
pick
know what?
segment.
Nips, I don't want you to be left alone. I'm going to chug 2, just because I feel like it.
I like it.
I feel like it's the thing to do.
I like it.
I'm a gentleman. I'm no dendrophiliac.
Should I start off with the penalty shot?
Go for it.
All right, so what's
You're
that
no
for?
dendrophiliac. You're a gentleman. You just say that?
Yeah, I sure did.
Are those mutually
Oh,
exclusive?
my God. Jesus. I thought you were a gentleman because you had many leather-bound books.
And my apartment does smell like rich mahogany.
All right.
And dog.
Well, I took Cincy because I don't have the feel for what Baltimore does on a week-in, week-out basis. 2 weeks
Or
ago.
Cincy.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago I took Baltimore versus Cleveland. They lost that head-to-head against you. This week I take Cincy, thinking Baltimore is done. Ray Rice looks terrible.
He
They
still
can't
looked
do
terrible.
anything. I mean, Baltimore did all they could to give the game away, and Cincy almost took it while they almost gave the game away. But that Hail Mary play was freaking...
The A.J. Green play, yeah.
I mean, the Heddybo, what is he doing? He's like basically like, hey, you guys...
That was dumb.
Hey, it's going to hit the floor. Why don't you catch this, A.J. Green, while you're standing there by
Worst
yourself?
play last year, Raheem Moore or this
Now
guy?
you're getting carried away over there, big guy.
Worst play, Raheem Moore last year or a hit above?
No, Raheem Moore, because that was in a much more important game, obviously, to go to the AFC Championship game.
Baltimore involved in
Baltimore.
both.
Oh, well, where he
Yeah.
let the big pass go
Yeah,
by.
the safety in Denver.
I gotcha.
Yeah, no, that was a much worse play.
All right, well,
This,
I'm taking a
you
hit
know,
for that one.
This was a stupid one, but all right, go right ahead. So while you're doing that, Welsh pouring, Nipsey's drinking, I'll talk about my 4-0 week. I had Arizona minus 2.5 over Houston, and talk about they tried all they could to give that game away. They had the game. Mendenhall comes in and fumbles, but like I said, that Arizona defense is legit.
Why is Mendenhall still running the ball?
I have no idea why are they giving the
Why
ball.
are they giving him a
Andre
uniform to put
Ellington
on?
is a solid back.
completely
He
agree.
can
Completely
handle the
agree.
carries on every game in game
I'll
out
tell you
basis,
what.
but they continue running him out.
We talked about
Sorry.
we talked about a little bit during the Monday Night Football game. We're having a group chat, and Tampa Bay has a lot of talent, but that Arizona Cardinal team is a legit quarterback away from being a stud team. They
As
really
our
are.
predictor always
They really
likes
are.
to
man.
tell us.
He's saying Drew Stanton.
He was on that, but so I went with that one. Seattle over Atlanta, I thought was a layup. Atlanta's in shambles. Matty Ryan, I think is a good quarterback, but was elevated by the talent around him, and obviously now he doesn't have the same kind of talent. A lot of offensive line issues. Obviously, the 2 stud receivers not there. Philly over Green Bay was my lock. Foles coming off a huge week. I didn't like. Honestly, that was a bet against Seneca Wallace. It really wasn't the Eagles. It was a bet against Seneca
Scott
Wallace,
Tolzien or whatever
and it
his
turned
name
out to
is.
be Scott Tolzien. That game worked out.
I mean, and he looked like he was starting to make some throws, and then he throws that terrible pick six in the end zone. I think it was a pick six.
Yeah.
Where they were driving, and it
Right,
was like
right,
an out
right.
route to, I think, Jordy Nelson, and the Philly guy just cut right in front of it.
And so before I was interrupted, and so no, my upset special, which honestly, this is my most confident pick. The upset special, I got 6.5 points with Carolina against San Francisco. In hindsight, it's always 20/20, but I saw that Carolina team, that defense, that front seven is very, very good. Can absolutely play. Kaepernick hasn't been the same player this year.
No.
He absolutely has not. But I'll tell you what, huge difference. Vernon Davis goes out with that
Absolutely.
concussion,
Yeah.
Just gonna say
changes the
that.
game. absolutely changed the game. So definitely in terms of betting, definitely huge benefit with Davis going out, and you don't like to see that, but a win is a win, my man.
Yeah, I definitely. The line on that game, I was thinking, I was like, Carolina can very well outright beat San Francisco. So I'm thinking to myself, like, why the hell is this a 6 point?
I thought it was too high.
6 point line here on this.
Yeah.
So
people haven't bought it to Carolina yet. I think is what it is.
I think finally they are this
week. This week. But I tell you what, Carolina they need a lead receiver. They're not there yet. They need if Carolina.
They need somebody else.
They're piecing it
Their
together.
secondary is a little mishmash, but
that defense is.
But that front seven's that good. But Carolina's an elite receiver away, and I think Cam Newton, who you had Luck, Wilson, Kaepernick, emerge on the scene. A little bit forgotten, a forgotten man coming into the year.
Yeah.
Obviously, a ton of talent. They get James Stewart back, who not a huge player. Jonathan Stewart, I should say. Jonathan Stewart back. With Williams and Tolbert. And Cam Newton's probably their best running back, honestly. And they can rush the ball, control the clock. That front seven's very good. They're an elite receiver away, I think. So I don't think they're going to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
I don't see them making a run because of that. I don't think they can stretch the field vertically enough. They don't have that kind of talent. But I like that game a lot. What San Francisco did, I think Carolina did better. San Francisco needs to run the ball to win right now. Because Kaepernick's not making the plays, they can't stretch the field. They have Crabtree and Manhattan on the way back, but Davis goes out and he looks lost. So Carolina, I like that pick a lot. That was my upset, but I felt most confident about that one.
Last week I went 3-1. I had Arizona over Houston, Baltimore over Cincinnati. Lock of the week, Tampa Bay. Thought they would finally get it together. Brownie also had them on there. Like the cohesiveness we had there, and then upset special just got absolutely blown up in Afghanistan. Atlanta +6 over Seattle. Yeah, not so much, my friends.
I mean, you brought up the predictor before. Do you think there's any way San Fran doesn't make the playoffs?
Yeah, definitely. I could definitely see that.
You think Arizona can make a run at that?
That
second wild card?
And San Fran goes to Arizona, and we've seen teams go to Arizona and struggle. I know Seattle won there, but obviously they don't have to go there again. So
look at San Fran. Why were they so good? Right? Coming into the season, why did they think we were so good? Because we thought Kaepernick was gonna improve.
Yeah.
Kaepernick has not gotten better from his 12 games starting.
And Crabtree was, you say everything you want about Vernon Davis, but Crabtree was his main weapon.
And Bolden had that 1 week, but Bolden can't separate. Bolden's an inside player.
And he's been terrible after the first couple of weeks.
And it's easy to key on him when you got nobody else out there on the outside.
You get a team that can stop the run. That San Fran offensive line is still very good, but you get a team that is solid against the run. And it limits that San Francisco offense because they don't have those weapons. Yeah. So can I see them making the playoffs? I still think they're a better team, and I think they're better coached than Arizona. But could they miss the playoffs? Yeah, it looks like it.
They got New Orleans this week, which is in New Orleans, which is
that's a tall task.
And I tell you what's interesting. It could very well that last spot come down to Carolina and San Francisco, and Carolina would have the tiebreaker. So. Right. You got to look at that, too.
Well, yeah, I think the stat was, that all the Kaepernick's touchdown passes are to either Bolden or Davis this year.
Is that what it is?
Yeah. If not all, it's like a high percentage. Well, so once you lose Davis, it's like...
they came in, Kyle Williams, who they recently cut, was supposed to be one of the receivers.
Manningham was back, but...
John Baldwin,
did come back.
They made the trade. But I'm saying, throughout the course of the year, John Baldwin, they made that trade with Jenkins. He hasn't panned out, and they can't stretch the field. But... Now, if they get Crabtree back, different element. So we'll see how that develops. But they're missing a talent on the outside.
All right, let's move it on to week 11.
All right, here we go. Let's go.
Rock, you got the Coke in your back pocket. I'm going to get this down my throat.
All right, so
that's what she said.
I've been on Arizona all season, the beginning of the season. Arizona's laying 7 points. That defense is very good. Their over/under coming into the year was 5.5, and I loved it. I was with the predictor. I think they're a quarterback away from being an elite team, but I did come out laying 7 points and give me Arizona for leadoff. Bang.
Yeah, I like that too, especially with Jacksonville getting the win last week.
Oh, right. I didn't mention they're playing Jacksonville.
Yeah.
Jacksonville gets that one win. I think that line has, they got one under their belt. That line tricks a little bit. Arizona is a much better team. Give me Arizona all day.
Yeah, no, I like it. All right, I'm going to chug one for that same game that you just talked about, Tennessee-Jacksonville last week. I locked them up here. I took them in the picks pool for 14A. Obviously, that killed everybody except for Mr. Save Jack.
Yeah.
So cheers to him. Remember, tip out the guy who ran the pool. But actually, I'm going to take Philly at Washington.
Oh, ding, 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 ding. We got ourselves a little heads up here.
All right. I like it. But, I mean, Washington might have the worst defense in the NFL. They made Ponder look like an all-star last week, and they just threw all over him. I mean...
And then he got hurt, and then Castle came in and did the same.
Yeah, they were up at halftime on the road, and RG3 looked like he was like the RG3 from last season. And then out of nowhere, it just disappears.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't think that defense or that offense is good enough to keep up with good offenses. And Minnesota is not a good offense, and Philly just looks like they're hitting the right stride at the right time. I like him. I'll take him. I think is it
all right, Walsh,
plus
come
3.5?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Washington here.
I'm sorry.
No, you got the -3. I'm gonna go with the +4. Listen, Philly still on this huge.
I might get the -3. You get the +4.
You get -3 or +4 because it's -3.5. So remember, we're buying points here.
Well, I'm buying 5 points.
No. Well, we'll discuss lines somewhat.
But
yeah, Philly, still on this huge home losing streak. I'm not impressed by them. The Eagles have beaten Oakland and they've beaten Green Bay. Those two games were both on the road. They still obviously have a problem playing at home. I think Washington slipped up against Minnesota last week. We obviously saw that. The defense is bad, but I think we're going to have ourselves a little shootout on our hands this week. I think, it's going to be a 3-point game.
They lost the last 11 games at home or something like that.
Yeah.
11, yeah.
I mean, how long can that keep up? That can't be like...
They're due.
No, they're not. They're not. And the other thing, too, Washington got absolutely...
Well, Philly has a really tough travel inside Philadelphia.
They do.
Subway
they obviously do. Something's going on coming from Bucks County. But, no, you know what? I still... Maybe Philly does win this game by 3. I just don't see them... blowing Washington out in this one. Washington got absolutely embarrassed by the Eagles on opening night.
Crush like a grape.
We know how things go in these division games. You get blown out one time. You don't want the same thing to happen. I think you know what? Forget about what I said. Philly winning. I think Washington's going to win this one outright.
Ooh. Nice. I like it. Go big or go home.
Yeah.
All right. Here comes my me in a 2-hole. Give me the Detroit versus the Steelers. I like Detroit. The Steelers, Nipsey was talking a little bit about them. We talked a little about them before. They came back. They had a big win last week, but I don't like that Steelers team. I think Mike Tomlin is a very good coach, and he's keeping them in the games. But I think Detroit right now, they're ready to make a move in this division. I think they're ready to claim this division. They have the best quarterback in the division, the best offense of the division. That front four is really playing. I don't like Jim Schwartz as a coach. So yeah. I don't see that team go. I think he's a big hindrance on that team. I don't see them, making a move once the playoffs get here. But for this game, I think the talent outshines them.
Outshines them?
No, it's actually, if you want to
speak
correctly, it's outshone.
Outshone?
Right. You're the English guy, right?
Yeah, I am. Yeah, Look at you getting so mad.
Who's
so
mad?
I see it in
mad?
your face. Getting so mad.
Well, you got
to interrupt me. At least be right.
You guys have a humdinger in second place there for the picks.
All right. So give me Detroit. Matty Stafford's playing tremendous ball. That defense is better. I think just a better team. I know they're going on the road to Pittsburgh, but that Pittsburgh team's not what they used to be. That defense is not anywhere close. I think Detroit runs it up on them, and I'm only laying 2.5. I take that all day. Give me Detroit in my 2-hole.
Okay. Right. It's not going against you or with you. My lock of the week actually is going to be the over in that game. Detroit got a little slowed down last week.
What's the number?
46. 46.5, but I'm buying obviously down the half point.
Goes without saying.
Absolutely.
We're gonna add up all the points you buy, and that's gonna be how many beers you got to chug at the end of the year. That's gotta be somewhere on the radio show.
Regardless,
it's gonna be like a 37-minute chug.
we've seen both of these teams put up a lot of points, obviously. Roethlisberger, I feel like what's going to happen in this game, Detroit's going to get out to a nice little lead, maybe like 14-0, 17-0, something like that. And then, Roethlisberger's just going to be forced to throw the ball. They gave up 55 points against a New England team. Detroit is just as good, if not better, than... Don't interrupt.
At least I'm right.
Not better. So
you're trying to interrupt my grandma and whatnot.
So I just think Detroit, after having kind of a mediocre offensive performance last week, they're really going to put it up on Pittsburgh this week.
All right, I'm with it.
All right.
You too.
Yeah, no, I'm going to chug for the G-Men, sadly, from last weekend. But, obviously we kind of covered that already. I'm going to go with KC, actually, as an upset.
Wow. What do you got that line at?
Plus 7.5.
Make it 8.
I got 9. It's 8. It's 8.5.
8.
All right. Well, yeah, I'll buy 5 points.
Make it 9 because I got them as well.
No, it's 8.5. It's 8.5.
It's 8.5, right? So we'll go to 9.
But I feel like KC is the San Fran of about 2 or 3 years ago, when everyone keeps on betting against them. Everyone's saying this team's not that good. This team's not going to go anywhere. They're going to lose to good teams, and I don't see Peyton Manning holding up throughout the rest of the season, and never mind in this game. I feel like they're going to be all over him. They're going to be blitzing him nonstop, and KC has the guys in the secondary that can hang with Demaryius Thomas, the Wes Welkers, the Eric Deckers of the world. I think that they can at least keep it close. I don't know if they win, but I think they can at least make the game close, cover the 8, whatever we want to say the spread is. I like them this weekend. I think Alex Smith doesn't make mistakes. Dwayne Bowe smokes a lot of weed, gets arrested for DUIs, and I like that. And they're starting him this week.
They have to.
And they're starting this week.
They're not allowed to bench him.
You could hit somebody in the helmet and get suspended in the NFL.
Right.
But you don't get suspended for drinking and driving.
No, because they have
and
to let
possessing marijuana.
The legal process to play out. The team's not allowed to suspend.
Well, I think he's innocent.
But let me...
It's all legend. He probably had weed in Denver, which is legal. So it's fine. That's where he was going.
I like it. I was on my way to
I wanted to get there a week early. I
was flying with the team, bringing in illegal drugs.
I'll tell you this. I didn't want to touch that game because I didn't want to pick one of those games. But I'll tell you what. We talk about, Aaron Rodgers goes down. Huge injury. We talk about, quarterbacks when they get hurt. Receivers when they get hurt, the Randall Cobbs of the world. And I think because that's, fantasy focused. I think it's very fantasy driven. But I think one injury that hasn't really been played up, and in Seattle I think is dealing with the same stuff, but that Ryan Clady injury at left tackle for Denver. I think you're seeing Manny's getting hit, man. He's getting hit. He can't move, so he needs that protection. He's trying to get the ball out as fast as he can, and he's doing a very good job of it. But they're coming after him, and he's getting hit. And that hit that he took, he didn't like it, but it's completely legal, no doubt.
He kept on saying they kept on going into his lower limbs.
Yeah, which is ridiculous.
Just say your legs.
But you can't hit a quarterback anywhere else. They were all completely legal, and as a fantasy guy, anyone that has Peyton Manning is, you're shaking for this game. You're very nervous.
You got him on your last place.
If I saw great NFL films, what Kansas City does, they have a great, Justin Houston, and who's the other guy on the outside?
Ali.
Tom Ali, Denario Poe. What they do is they bring more guys. They bring either the outside linebacker and the strong side safety, or vice versa, the weak side.
They load up on the side,
and they come and they bring more than you can block anyway. Even if you can block them straight, and they lead the league in sacks, and that's their scheme. And what it comes down to is, can Manning get the ball out to his guys faster than Kansas City can get there?
Well, I think
the game inside the game, how they blitz, are they still going to do that against Manning? Do you do that against Manning?
I think you do, because one thing I think that he cannot throw a deep ball, and I think it's shown time and time again that when you pressure him and shorten the field, unless they get those big screen plays to Demaryius Thomas, he cannot get the ball past 20 yards down the field on a solid throw.
Right, but those Wes Welker 5 yard crosses. But Julius Thomas, he took it 80 yards on one play.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, listen, Kansas City has the personnel to deal with Denver's offensive personnel. Another thing too is that Kansas City's coming off a bye week, so they had the extra week to prepare for Manning. I know that Manning does all this crazy shit at the line with preparing and whatnot, but at least you can implement things yourself to not get your tail kicked.
But that's my point, though. But their scheme is, so far this season, they've blitzed a ton. They can get to the quarterback. They blitz a ton, and they bring those safeties, and those safeties have blitzed. They bring more than you can block, essentially, is what they're doing. Are they going to do that against Manny? It's going to be fascinating to watch. Is Manny good enough to at the line to out scheme that scheme? Is Kansas City going to stay with that? It's a fascinating game. It really is.
All right. Well, I've got Kansas City also as my upset. We're going to go with +9 because it's 8.5. So buy the half point around here. But I'm a little upset. I'm not going to be able to watch this whole game. I'm going to be coming back from the Giant game, so. That's regardless.
Well, the Giant game is supposed to be the Sunday night game.
Yeah, I'm so happy about that. I am so happy about that. I want to be back.
But you're not going to get there till 1 o'clock because you had your freaking.
I'm not going to get there till probably like 2:30. Got to win the titles, bro.
Who are you playing against?
The Fishers. A lot of like Eric Fisher, TD, all those guys. Not TD.
All right, no one cares.
No one cares.
I care more about your fantasy team,
no one likes
which I don't
football
care at all about.
No one likes to play football, Walsh.
One game. One title, one trophy on the line. All right, what else we got up here? All right, so Nips went. I went with 3 picks already. So
all right, well,
you guys both got 2.
I'm switching off of Oakland as my upset because I'll take Kansas City as my upset.
Okay.
But actually, a game that we kind of touched about it before, and I'm going to take it just as a regular game. I'll use my tease as my lock, but I'm going to take Buffalo against the Jets.
Okay.
I like Buffalo at home. After a bad week against Pittsburgh last week. Like I said before, I think the Jets are bad on the road. The only win they got so far is in Atlanta, which, at the time looked good, but now looking back more and more, maybe Atlanta just was hurting and banged up and not that good of a team. And I just don't feel like this Jets team can play well consistently enough, especially in unfriendly environments, it seems like. When they go to New England, they played solid, but they couldn't pull out the win. Cincinnati looked terrible. Tennessee, they looked terrible. And I think Buffalo's got a great home crowd. You saw it a couple weeks ago. They almost beat Kansas City in their own house.
They should have.
If it wasn't for those terrible turnovers.
Kansas City didn't score a touchdown.
Now they got E.J. Manuel back. I know Stevie Johnson's banged up, but I feel like that they can hopefully get a solid run game going. I know the Jets are a tough matchup. But also, I don't see the Jets being able to put up a lot of points on that front four. I think Mario Williams is doing an excellent job this season. Finally making his contract worthy of what it is.
Year. Yeah.
And they just have no weapons to throw to. And I'll say this time and time again that I don't see anybody that can get open on a one-on-one situation. And Geno Smith isn't going to carry you. So I'll go with Buffalo.
All right. I like it. Anyone that talks tonight about the Jets, I'm all for.
Hey, man. I'm gonna do a Nipsey, let a Nipsey be a Nipsey pick. I'm going to take it from Mully. I'm going to go right against the Jets, baby. Even though it screwed Mully last time, we're banging him again.
You gotta play the cards you're dealt. You let yourself be yourself. I'm a big proponent. All right, here I'll come back to back. Ready? I'll give you my lock. I'll give you my UDs. All right, Oakland. Didn't look well. They didn't look very good against the Giants. Right? Terrell Pryor didn't look very good. That team, they have a lot more. Houston, I think, is in shambles. I like Case Keenum. Case Keenum is throwing the ball well. Wade Phillips, another head coach. This game, I'm taking a touchdown against Wade Phillips. Give me Oakland. Lock it up. I'm sorry, underdog of the week. Oakland. Lock of the week.
Houston on a 7-game losing streak.
Good. Make it 8. I don't care. Make it win.
I'm just saying. I wasn't disagreeing.
I think that Oakland team's not that good, but I think they're better than they played against the Giants. They did come cross country, Walsh. You know what I mean?
Oh, hey-oh.
Walsh is always.
We got schedule. We got jet streams. Jet stream factors.
Here we go. Here's my last one, and actually, you're not gonna like this because now here come the Chargers coming across country. Who are they playing?
Miami Dolphins.
Walsh, what's
Ray
he doing?
Finkel's Miami Dolphins.
Walsh, what's he doing?
I don't know.
Listen,
no idea.
I know Miami gave it they looked absolutely terrible in that first half. They looked like they just quit, honestly. They really did. And leave it to Greg Schiano and those Bucks to let them back in the game. But Miami, I think Miami's in turmoil. I think more so than that, we talked about it. We touched on it a little earlier. They lost the right side of the offensive line. And their offensive line wasn't very good to begin with.
Right.
Did they have 20 yards rushing Monday night?
Lamar Miller.
I thought it was like 2.
Yeah, he was running the quicksand.
At one point in the fourth quarter, it was 2.
And they just couldn't go anywhere.
Quick little fantasy tangent. I was up 14 points. The other guy had 3 guys playing in that game. I wound up winning by 4 points. Tremendous
Nobody
win.
cares.
Yeah.
Help me out a lot.
Nobody cares.
Agreed. That's why I call it a quick tangent. So, give me
Quick
my lock
offshoot.
of the week.
Offshoot.
Give me I tangent, you offshoot.
I think you, Zach.
Give me Mike McCoy, San Diego Chargers. Phil Rivers. Phil Rivers is going to be the best player in that game. I think Ryan Matthews is going to be able to run the ball effectively. Keenan Allen is emerging as a big time player.
Like
Padre.
Keenan Allen.
Give me San Diego. What I got at a point.
Yep.
We good on that?
Yep.
Yeah,
All right.
lay the point. Give me San Diego over Miami. And how about Stephen Ross? What a Jew, huh?
No offense, Nipsey.
No, typical real estate guy. I love this interview. He said everything right, but he just comes across one of those old school real estate. He's like a Wilpon. And that's why I'll never root for Miami again.
That's
I like it.
So that's my lock.
All right, I'm gonna lock up a tease because I love to switch it up.
He's a
Two-team
tease. Nipsey's a tease.
How many
tease.
you get? 6?
6. So I'm gonna go Zona. I'm gonna bring that down to -1.5 versus Jacksonville, and I'm gonna take New Orleans.
Touchdown, 6 points. 1 point.
I'm going to take New Orleans +3 against San Fran. And kind of like we touched on earlier, I feel like Zona's, obviously you talked about it at length. Zona's going to beat Jacksonville. I'm not even worried about that. But New Orleans at home against San Fran, banged up. Not even sure if Vernon Davis is playing or not. New Orleans at home is a tough beat no matter who's coming into your house. I don't see San Fran being able to play up. I mean, I know San Fran's D is good, but I don't think they can hold down Saints offense.
Yeah.
And I'll take the Saints at home +3 in day of the week.
Last year, San Fran went right into New Orleans and whooped them
Different
real
team.
good.
Different
real
team.
good.
New Orleans is on the FU tour this year.
But I agree with that. But I also think, we were talking about it earlier, San Fran can't stretch the field like they do. I think the biggest, going into this week, the biggest who's going to play, usually it's Jimmy Graham, but Jimmy Graham seems like he's dealing with it. Little, not as many snaps, but he's still playing. If Vernon Davis doesn't play, does that line swing late? If they rule him out,
I don't think that he's a guy that affects.
He's not a Calvin
the
Johnson
points.
guy,
You know
where
what I mean?
you would say like it would
a
swing
point or
it
two.
like
But
A half point at most.
I think the Saints look a lot better if Vernon Davis doesn't play.
All right.
yeah, absolutely.
I see that being a low-scoring game too.
But Alvin Smith comes back, so he's done like beating up people and drinking and stuff. So,
He ran into a tree just like Walsh.
well,
I
you
never
know.
ran into
No,
a tree.
like loving
Well,
trees and stuff.
Walsh is a necrophiliac.
Right.
I
What is it
know.
called again?
A necrophiliac.
Dendrophilia.
Necrophiliac.
Roger
Danger.
Rodney Dangerfield.
Necrophiliac.
I
people
just
like
know
to have
what
sex with dead
That
people.
I knew.
I just know what it is. I don't enter myself in the tree. Okay. All right. So
You just rub around.
everybody's got
Around.
their.
I'm on the perimeter.
I'm trying to make my last pick. Shut the hell up.
Just the tip.
That tree's a virgin.
All right.
Just to see how the tree likes it.
Everybody made all 4 of their picks. I'm going to close it out. Tampa Bay train's still going to roll this week. They're going to roll right over Matty Ryan. That team is absolutely in shambles right now. No, they had Roddy White back last week, but you know what? Tampa Bay right now, they're definitely feeling themselves after that Monday night win. I think they're going to rattle off a couple wins this year.
Oh.
And I actually wrote about this on 1480sports.com today, the 3 things that we learned this week.
Nice plug.
If Mike Glennon wins a couple games here down the stretch, he will save his job in essence because they won't have such a shitty pick or such a good pick at the beginning of the draft. So if they rattle off 4 wins, they're going to have a pick probably around I don't know.
Did we give
Like 6, 7, something like that.
Did we give
But
Richie Case
that's a
pick
tradable. No, we will. We
They'll
will.
be on the site.
Don't believe me. We didn't forget that. But if Glennon wins some games here down the stretch, he'll
Also,
earn himself a job by just elevating the Bucs.
Did
in the
they give
draft.
any picks this year to the Jets for Revis or no?
No. Not any of the first
Not
round
first
or
round,
anything
okay.
like that. So
That was
be
just
fine.
last year.
Yeah.
All right.
So yeah, I'm gonna go with Tampa Bay +2. I like what they did on Monday night.
I thought they looked great in that first half.
Yeah.
And then
Mike
they started
Glennon
struggling.
has a giraffe neck.
That's fine.
He is an ugly guy, like you mentioned.
Oh yeah,
on
not
Monday
handsome.
night.
Not handsome.
Team ugly Mike Glennon.
But that defense was impressive, which is
The
what I was
defense,
most
the
surprised
defense
about.
has been impressive all year. They have
Devontae
been.
Davis is an all-pro player. Joe McCoy should be an all-pro player. We said
Revis is back. Revis looks like
Revis looked better when Revis is
Well,
Revis.
he's been saying
Revis is
now we
Deion.
can we can go
Deion
bump
Sanders.
and
But
run.
Deion Sanders is Deion Sanders. He's Darren Woodson.
Ooh.
Easy, fellas, easy. All right, so those are all our picks for the week. Richie K got his picks in. He likes Houston -6 this week.
Whoa!
Yeah, he likes Miami +1, going against everybody here on the panel.
Richie's taking out some beers to chug when he comes back.
Yeah, right. Log of the week, Cincinnati -5.5 over Cleveland.
You know what? Obviously, it's going to come out because Richie K's locking it up.
And his upset special, New England +3. Don't you think he's due for a bad week?
He is. I don't like those picks.
All right, fair enough.
I don't like them.
All right, that's our show for the evening. We would like to thank Bria Smith, Ashley Vasquez, and all the tattoo guys for not showing up. We had a great time, just chatting and
more
BSing.
time to drinking.
It's what we always
Talk.
do.
Drinking and chugging.
Always thanks to Coles for the CNN network on the show. Decision Dave stepping it up with the
I'll tell you what.
sounds and all that.
HD's out.
He's out. He's out.
Give me the double D.
Wally Pip.
Give me the double D.
All the time. We always want the double Ds here at 14A Sports.
Nick's up by 10, by the way.
So, on behalf, and also, yeah, that's fine. Great, whatever. Who cares? But
Jimmy Doe and Lena Wood.
Once again, thanks to Vinny Bettino and the Big Apple Sports Pals.
Absolutely.
With the sponsorship. We love you guys. I guess that's it.
That's all she wrote tonight, man.
That is it. All right. So, on behalf of 14A Sports, the 15 Minutes Fame Radio Studios, and everybody else in the town of Bayonne, New Jersey, we are out of here for the night, and we'll see you next Wednesday. Peace.